today's workshop. I am so thrilled to be here with you today when we're going to learn how to do some seasonal summer foods. And I'm excited to have Adante Hart with us, registered dietitian, that's going to walk us through today's workshop. Hi, Adante.
Hey Michelle, how are you doing?
I am doing great. Again, welcome and thank you for being here with us. If you have any questions during the workshop, please put them in the chat. We're going to mark them off and Dante will answer them at the end of his presentation. We also have a handout today with the recipes. So Adante Hart is a registered dietitian and culinary nutrition educator passionate about the intersection of food, culture, and health. With experience spanning nutrition, agriculture, culinary, and public health, he works to connect people and food and empower communities to improve their quality of life. Adante, thank you so much for being here today with us. I am so excited to see you make these recipes come to life. They already look great on paper. So at this time, I'm going to turn things over to you.
All right, and I'm excited just as well. Thank you very much for having me, Michelle. Good afternoon to everyone. I'm excited to be here. I'm also a little hungry myself, so I'm excited to cook, and I know you all are excited to see what we're going to make. But again, thank you, Michelle, and thank you, Amy, and everyone at the team at Full Plate Ardmore for having me here this afternoon. Coming to you all from Raleigh, North Carolina. I see a few of you in the chat. I see some North Carolinas in there. I see Tennessee, Wisconsin, Missouri. I see a bunch of states. So I don't know if we have all 50 states today, but I'm excited for everyone that's here. And if anyone's here from Texas, definitely thinking about you all down there. I know the flooding is going on. We had some pretty bad weather, so hope all of everyone's doing all right this afternoon. And yeah, let's jump into this. Okay. I'll make sure I can actually navigate these slides. Let's see. All right. So today we're gonna be talking about summer foods for whole body health. It's the summertime. We are at the peak of summer. It's July. We just got off a good July 4th holiday, and we have lots of fresh, good food out there. So I'm going to talk about some foods we can eat to help have whole body health. Right? No disclosures, and anything I say here represents me and none of my former or current employers. So that's all I got to say about that. All right, I see some Florida in here too. Awesome. All right, so real quick, what we're going to talk about today, we're going to look at summer seasonal foods, what they are, and kind of what you can find. We're also going to talk about fiber needs during the summer because here at Full Plate, we're thinking about our water fiber foods. So, what are some needs, especially during this time of the year? Then we're going to jump into a culinary demonstration. We're going to show you how to make three different things. All right, and what those things are, you'll find out in just a little bit. And then we'll have some time at the end for some questions and answers. Okay, so real basic, real simple. All right, if you have any questions, throw them in the chat and we'll get to them as we go along. Okay. And I can see some of the things here. I see somebody from Greensboro right down the street from me. All right. Okay. Let's get into this. So, a little bit about myself for those that don't know me. Thank you, Michelle, for reading that awesome bio. I'm a registered dietitian. A lot of what I do is around the culinary nutrition. I've been doing this for almost over 13 years and works everywhere. My favorite cuisine is Ethiopian cuisine. I used to live in the DMV, DC, Maryland, Virginia, for those that don't know, and a lot of Ethiopian restaurants up there. So, really developed my love for that there. And wherever I go, the first place I Google if I'm going to new cities, are there any Ethiopian restaurants? I love the flavors. I love the injera, the bread, everything is served on. And I just love the different flavors, especially like the vegetables. My favorite dish is Mr. Wat, which is like the red lentils. It's nice and spicy, lots of flavor. So I always encourage people to try it if they haven't done so. So that's what I like. All right. And also, my favorite season is the summer. All right, so we are in it. I grew up in Miami, so I love my warm weather. And what I like about summer a lot is that four main things. One is that it gets darker later in the day. So, this picture here says 8:30 is when sunset. So I absolutely love it. All right. I love being outside, 8:30, 9 o'clock, you can still see some sunlight out. So I love that part about summer. Another thing about summer is being outside, especially being, near the beach. Um, let's see, my video may have went out. Oh, is it back? Is it back? Let's see. All right. So you got my video back. There we go. I'm not sure what's going on there, but we are back. technology likes to act funny, try to be on summer vacation, but we're here. All right. So, another thing I like about the summer is that we like to be outside, going to the beach, just enjoying being outside, not having to bundle up and wear a whole bunch of, like winter clothes. Love that part about it. Also, as many of us last week, for the fourth, we're out grilling, having good times, people outside. And I love it. Last week I made, some burgers. I made some roasted potatoes, roasted some corn. It was a great time, right? So we like to grill. Who else here likes to grill? Put in the chat. Tell me what you made for the fourth last week. All right. And then the fourth part about like about summer is the produce. All right. So I grew up in South Florida and at home we had a mango tree. We still have it. My mom's still there. And I love during the summer just getting fresh mangoes off of the tree. Even today, I live here, my mom's in Florida. She'll mail me mangoes from that tree. So I love the summer fruit. Mangoes and peaches, watermelons, those are my hallmarks of the summer. And recently I got into cherries too. All right. So those are also kind of a summery fruit too. And in the chat, let me know what's your favorite summer food? I'm sure we have a lot of them, all right? And so if we think about kind of seasonal eating, right? We want to try to eat within season because usually when you eat within the seasons, the food it tastes fresher. There's more nutrients because it's actually grown during that time of the year. And when you get it, the farmers that grow it locally, they're picking it at its peak of nutrition, right? So when they get those foods, they pick it, clean it, take it to the market. You're getting food at its highest nutrient density, all right? Meaning this has more vitamins and minerals, etc. And doesn't have to travel very far to get to where you get to. Like right now, strawberry, the tail end of strawberry season, right? So if you're getting fresh strawberries locally, they're going to taste really good. They're not have to travel as far as opposed to trying to get strawberries in December, right? When it's going to be very cold and strawberries aren't growing here. So we have to import it from elsewhere. And another thing to consider is the cost. All right. So foods grown in season tend to cost less than those out of season because there's so much of abundance because it's currently in season. Okay. And I see somebody in the chat, strawberries, watermelon, sweet corn, garden fresh broccolis. Yeah. So I said honeyberries. Yeah. And so we think about from a budget perspective, we want to eat in season because it's actually cheaper to eat in season than it is to eat foods out of season. All right. So just another just another plug for getting summer produce. And right here, I have a chart. I believe it's from the USDA that shows different summer produce in the United States. So lots of things here. I'm not going to read the entire list, but things see like blackberries, see a lot of berries, right? See a lot of cherries. You see corn, zucchini, strawberries, peaches, and some of these things we're going to be cooking with this afternoon. Okay, so just stay tuned for that. And also, if you go to that website, it also shows the other produce available throughout the year. And this is just in the U.S. in general, but as we know, the U.S. has lots of temperate areas, lots of climates, lots of areas. So depending on where you are in the U.S., you might want to check your state's cooperative extension website, and they'll probably have lists of what's in season. I know here in North Carolina, Got to Be in C has a list that shows like the different months up here, and then the produce, and you can actually see by month like what's available. So I encourage you all to check out your state's cooperative extension website to see what's in season so you can go there. And if you can go to a farmer's market, do so. I understand that, economy's tight and, some things may be a little more costly at a farmer's market, but if you can go support your local farmers, support your local agriculture, it's always a good thing, lower carbon footprint, et cetera, et cetera. All right. And so here's a lot of summer produce. And so I already asked some of you, what are your favorite summer foods? So, keep throwing that in the chat. I'm looking, I see somebody says mangoes, I see watermelon, berries of any types. Some of you grow your own produce, which is amazing. All right. So if you're growing your own produce, great. All right. Somebody's going to the farmer's market today. I love it. I'm scrolling to see what else. Tomatoes. Yeah, I didn't even mention tomatoes, right? And honestly, I didn't even start to eat tomatoes, like fresh tomatoes, until I moved to North Carolina about a decade ago. My first tomato, it was amazing, right? I just put some salt, some pepper, a little olive oil. Oh my gosh, I didn't know I was missing out on all these years. All right. I see cucumber, artichokes, strawberries, corn on the cob. It's a lot of good stuff here. A lot of good foods, full of flavor and also full of good nutrients, all right? And also full of fiber too, because we're talking about fruits and vegetables. All right. Somebody's in Atlanta. The peaches are gorgeous now. I love a good summer peach. And as a matter of fact, a little sneak preview for later. I actually got a peach right here. So we'll do something with this a little later. All right. All right. Oh, and somebody else mentioned they're canning some things, which is amazing. All right. So we talk about these summer produce, right? If we want to try to keep those flavors throughout the year, we can preserve. There's a lot of techniques that we can use to save those flavors. People can tomatoes, people can peaches, people can okra. And you mentioned okra, some of my other favorite summer foods. So we can and preserve a lot of these things too. Yeah. And my video is going out again. I'm not sure why, but let's get it back up and running. All right. Even though we tested it, it seems to not want to act right, but it's okay. If you all can hear me, can you all still hear me?
Hi, Adante. Yes, we can still hear you. I think it's just the
Okay.
camera that's out. So it's probably the camera on your computer. I'm still seeing something on the screen as though
Mm-hmm.
Jobby camera is still up. We'll just wait for the quick little refresh. So in the meanwhile, let's see what everybody's talking about. I saw somebody mention that maybe we can have a session on canning, and they called me out. So sure, we'll look into getting a session for canning as a workshop topic in the future. I think that would probably be a fun one to do. And I know in the summer right now, I am also in Georgia, so the peaches are amazing. What are some things that you can pick locally where you live? I know here we can get peaches and blueberries right now, but what are some local produce that you can pick in your area? That maybe there's farms where you can go. Mulberries, oh, those sound delicious. And tomatoes, yes, I love that. Blackberries, peppers. D, you grow blueberries. That's very, very neat. Passion fruit. That's fun. I don't think I've ever picked fat passion fruit. I just get it at the grocery store. Peaches, corn, whatever you can grow on your own. Yes. And Jennifer, I believe I saw that you had a garden. Strawberries, blueberries, peaches. Yes. And cucumber, tomato, squash, strawberries. Those are all great. So Adante, we may just have to switch to your secondary camera and just run it that way. Because your secondary
All
camera
right.
worked there for a second. Oh, no, you're
Let's
back.
try this.
There we
Let's try
go.
this. I had to pivot a little bit, but that's okay. That's okay.
Okay.
That's what we do sometimes. All right. So we're back, and can you all see me okay?
Yep.
All
We
right.
can see you.
Like I said, sometimes in life things just get a
That's
little monkey wrench here and there, but hey, we're back. So let's get back to this. So got our favorite summer food, so let's move on. All right, so we talk about our favorite summer fruits and vegetables, and we know they're full of fiber. And during the summertime, we're here at Full Plate. We like our water fiber foods, and so during the summertime, we actually need more fiber in our system. And so, a few reasons why. One is because we move more. All right, the weather's nice, so we like to be outside more. We like to move and exercise, and just take nice walks. Again, the days in a little later, so we can take those evening strolls and just be outside more. We want to get up earlier and walk, especially for those that don't want to be out in the heat. So we might do some more activity in the mornings and the evenings. But also because it is very hot, here in North Carolina, it is currently 93 degrees, right? So it's really hot. So we're outside, we're sweating a lot. We have more hydration needs. So as we're, needing more hydration, guess what? We don't have to just drink water. We can also eat our water, right? With a lot of our fruits and vegetables that are also now high in fiber, also high in water content as well. So we have increased hydration needs. And also during the summer, we tend to eat lighter. During the winter, when it's cold, we tend to want to eat, heavier and have more things that kind of keep us warm, kind of stick to the ribs, so to say. But in the summer, we tend to eat lighter. So those foods we eat should, be fibrous, especially we're going for more fiber in our diet. So we want to have more fiber, especially during the summer for those reasons. Okay. And so again, looking at, I'm sure a lot of you are familiar with this already. This is the full plate approach. So again, 75% of our plate should be those water fiber foods. A lot of our fruits, our vegetables, beans, whole grains, and legumes. And a lot of these things we're actually going to prepare in just a few moments. Okay, so and I really love this because it's summertime, we want to have fun. We want to enjoy ourselves. How many of us like to go out with our friends? We had, for the fourth, we cooked out, right? For Juneteenth, we cooked out. We have a lot of just summertime gatherings, right? Cookouts, barbecues. Some of us, go out to the beach or, we go out on the water, right? We have good times out there. So we want to enjoy ourselves, right? So I love the full plate approach because we can still enjoy our favorite foods. So that 25%, we can put anything on the plate. So you want some grilled chicken, you want some grilled salmon, right? If you want to have, a burger, right? You can still do that. The other 75 is going to be our water fiber food. So we can still enjoy ourselves, have good food without having to feel like we have to sacrifice flavor and our favorite foods just for health. So that's the one thing I really, really love about this full plate approach from Ardmore. But during the summertime, there's some things we can do. So we're going to jump into our demo. All right. Again, if there's any questions, feel free to put them in the chat. I'm going to kind of talk and try to go through questions over the course of the next few minutes. So let me get myself together over here. Okay. Because I had to change cameras so things look a little different on my end. All right. Okay, so let's move this here and me move. Do I need the slide? I can put this over here and I'll just keep this here. All right. Let's see. Can you all see my little station over here? Michelle, can everyone see that?
That looks great. And I'm actually going to take your slide down and I will go off stage just so people can see your workstation much better. And we
All
can
right.
the slides back later.
Okay. So everyone can see that. Cool. All right. So let me see if we got this working. All right. You can see me, see the
Hmm.
slides. Cool.
Yep.
All right. So the first thing we're going to do, again, when we talk about getting more fiber during the summer, right? A lot of times we can, eat things, but a lot of us, I like my beverages. All right. I like to have a nice, cool, refreshing drink in the summer, especially when it's hot on days like this. And so, one thing that I wanted to do, one of my favorite things, we want to have a beverage, but also find ways to include fiber. So, we're going to do a chia sorrel. All right. So, sorrel, for those that aren't familiar with it, it is a beverage popular across the African diaspora and also in Latin America. Sorrel is essentially this stuff here, and it's made from hibiscus flowers. Okay. I'll take a couple here just as an example. So these here, I don't know if you all can see them. Let's see, getting closer to the screen here. So they're naturally red, all right? And so when we take them and dry them, they get this like really um, deep red color, right? So we take them and steep them. They make a very, very dark red beverage. And so it's enjoyed across the world. So in Africa, it's known as bissap. In Jamaica and the Caribbean islands, it's known as sorrel. Also in Latin American countries, it's known as agua de Jamaica. So you'll see this across many, many countries in parts of the diaspora. And so that's what we're going to use. And so I've already taken it. I've added some water. So what I did, I took some of those petals, I rinsed it out first because I don't know exactly where it came from. So I want to rinse out maybe there's any debris in there, right? And then I put it into a jar. I just use this big jar here, and I also to this jar added a stick of cinnamon and added some ginger. So I have this ginger here that I cut a few slices off and cut it thin and added to the jar. And as you see, this is what I have right here, right? So it's very, very red, right? So I had this sitting for about maybe 5 to 6 hours, okay? And so what I want to do now, this is pretty much ready to go. Now, what I want to do, I'm going to add some chia seeds to it in just a moment. And so I love chia seeds because they are a powerhouse, all right? I don't believe in the term superfoods because I think all foods have their own superpowers, their own vitamin and mineral set. But I like chia because one, it's full of fiber. You got 3 tablespoons gets you 10 grams of fiber, right? It's also full of omega-3 fatty acids, which we need for, again, improved brain health, heart health, and also, that fiber and chia is going to keep us feeling full longer. All right. So there have been many days where I make some chia water, and somebody put me onto this a while ago. Make some chia water, really just add chia seeds to water, a little lemon juice, and sip on that. And I feel full. Right. So I like to do that as a way to kind of drink my fiber, so to say, instead of having to buy those probiotic sodas, which they're not bad, but I can make this at home for a fraction of the cost of those sodas. So Before I add my chia seeds to this, I want to first drain this, not drain this, but I want to sort out the hibiscus flower so I can show you all what it looks like. So let's switch here. Okay. All right. And so again, this is my jar of hibiscus. I'm just gonna sift it through here. And as you see, a lot of flowers and the ginger is still there. And I don't know if I can get it all out, but it's okay if it's a little bit of ginger. It's not going to hurt anybody. Yeah, so I get some of this out. All right, and we know that ginger is serves as a ginger turmeric serves anti-inflammatory, so it has a lot of different health properties. And cinnamon, again, is another kind of warming spice, right? So it adds flavor, but also again, it's just uh, really, really good here. So I'm taking this out, and so as you can see, my petals, hibiscus petals. Oh, can you all see? Did it freeze? There we go. I can bring a little closer to the camera here. So yeah, they plumped up a little bit and they are very, very red. So when you're handling these, be careful, all right? Because they can be very can that red can get kind of everywhere. So I'm gonna take this and put this aside for now. Right. And then right here in this bowl, I want to do a few things. So let me see where I put them at. All right. I want to add some lime and we're gonna add a little sweetener to it. All right. Now you don't absolutely have to add sweetener. I like sweet things. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna add a lime here. So I'm gonna squeeze a little bit of lime juice in there. Okay. Yeah, I love the color on this. All right. And then where is and I just have a little bit of agave. I'm just using what I have. If you want to use sugar, you can use sugar. If you want to use honey, you can use honey. If you want to use stevia, you can use stevia or any of the artificial sweetener. I just add some agave. Again, I'm not adding that much to it. I think the recipe says a quarter cup, but you can definitely add less depending on your taste preferences. All right. And let's see, we're just going to stir that up. All right. Oops. Someone asked, can you use hibiscus tea if you cannot find the dried flowers? You can. It won't necessarily be the same in terms of the color and the consistency, but I mean, it's better than nothing. But you can definitely, if you have like the tea bags, they would still work in my opinion. All right. I was looking for I don't know where I put my whisk at. Just gonna whisk this real quick, but it's okay. Well, actually, let me grab it out of here. All right. So I like to whisk it together because especially if you're using honey or something thicker, we'll make sure it's evenly distributed. All right. And then next, I'm gonna add it back to my jar. All right. So might be a little bit of a mess here, but that's why I have this little thing underneath. All right. It's the magic of doing these demos. All right. So again, this might be a bit of a mess, but let's see. Oh, yeah, I don't like that. I don't like that. Let's see how we can get it into this. Da, 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 da. Again, when you're doing these things, something you don't really think about, getting into this little wide mouth container. As a matter of fact, let me do this instead. Get one of these jelly containers. You know what? That's a great idea. I'm just gonna. Do I have a ladle? I don't have a ladle at hand, so I'm just gonna go straighten this. So we lost a little bit, but it's okay. It's okay. It'll still be good. Yeah, funnel. Again, not. I don't have one immediately in arm's reach, so it's gonna have to work for now. All right, we got that in there, and let's go ahead and just write this. All right, and now we're gonna add the real star of this. All right, so we have our chia seeds here. So you don't need that much. I'm just gonna add about 3 tablespoons, and I mean, I use chia a lot, so at this point I can kind of eyeball what 3 tablespoons is. All right, so add that to it, and stirring all here. You see, it is a little mess on here, but guess what? I have this here, so it's no mess anywhere else. All right, and so take my chia seeds, and you see they're all settled at the top. But what I want to do is make sure I got this on really tight and just shake it up. All right. And with this, when you add chia seeds, it takes a while for them to hydrate. It takes about 5 to 10 minutes. So I like to just let it sit for a little bit. All right. And so you see here, right? So we'll let it right now. If I just, had it, the chia seeds are still at the top here, right? So we want to shake it up and let it, again, distribute some. This serving, the recipe I put two for people that are really thirsty. But if you want to add, again, you want to add some more water to this and kind of thin it out. You can make it stretch to 4 people, 4 servings for about 4 half-cup servings. But right now it's like 2 1-cup servings, a little more than a cup. All right, so we're just gonna shake this up, and I'm gonna let it sit for a little while longer, and I'll pour it once we get kind of to the end of our session. All right, so let's back here, and I'm just gonna sit this down. And while we're on top of chia, who else here likes chia seeds? All right. Yes, and everyone's going to get the recipes at the end. All right. So for those asking for recipes, just hang tight. We want you all to pay attention here. So you'll get the recipes at the end. All right. So I was mentioning chia water earlier, and actually, I had some in my fridge. I just pulled it out, and so obviously I've been drinking some of it. But this is chia water. Literally just added chia seeds and some lemon juice to some water and let it sit in the fridge. So I actually might finish this afternoon. So it's a little thicker. So for those that haven't really had it before, it is a little thicker than just regular water. But again, you got those chia seeds, all the fiber, all those omega 3s, and so it's a refreshing beverage that I love, and it also helps you feel full a little longer. So um, another benefit to that. All right, so that's the chia water, chia sorrel. And so let's shift gears here. Let me just move some of these things out of the way so we can move on. All right. Yeah. So somebody said like the chia seeds and overnight oats. That's actually something that I do pretty much every weekday. All right. So I make my overnight oats. Of course, I have my oatmeal, add a little bit of protein powder, but I also add some chia seeds in there just to up that fiber to get some more omega 3 and so a little bit more protein in there in the morning. And it keeps me full again until pretty much until lunchtime. All right. Yeah, hemp seeds are also another good source of protein and also omega 3s. Okay. Yeah, chia topping salad. That sounds really good too. All right. Somebody asked any nutrition difference between the white and black chia seeds. None that I know of. I haven't necessarily seen anything that talk about the difference between the two in terms of nutritional value, but I may be wrong. But as far as I know, there isn't any huge difference. I know the black ones are the ones you find in the store most commonly, like the ones I got from Costco a while ago. So um, yeah, let's see. Is any other things here? All right. Yeah, yeah. A lot of people say that also when they take in chia seeds, they have to take in small portions because sometimes, again, the chia seeds do have a lot of fiber. So we got the fiber from the chia seeds and the fiber from the oatmeal that can expand. And so yeah, it can cause you feel full. And some people say that, stomach does hurt. So we want to also, when we have increased our fiber intake, we want to do it kind of slowly so our bodies can get used to that. All right. So we want to do that, but also make sure we're drinking enough water to hydrate ourselves as well. All right, so thank you for bringing that up. All right, so our next recipe we're going to do something that goes well with pretty much anything. And I think I put it on there. I think I had a slide with all the stuff on there. I may have skipped it over, but it's okay. Right. So the second thing we're going to make. we're gonna do a salsa. All right, who here likes salsa? I love salsa. It is there is a debate in the nutrition community whether salsa is a vegetable or not. I argue that it is a vegetable because you have your you have your tomato, you have your cilantro, you have your onions, and so I think salsa is a vegetable. I don't care what anybody else says. All right. So we're gonna do again, kind of being on our theme of like higher fiber foods. We're gonna do a salsa with some of my favorite foods. Again, peaches are available during the summer. So we're gonna do a peach and black bean salsa. Okay, so again, I love peaches. Black beans are going to add some protein to this, so we're going to be able to eat this with our favorite chips, add it to our chicken or any other grilled proteins we have. We can even add it to our. We've been making any like grain bowls. We can do it that way. So we're going to do that now. All right. So let's shift a little bit. All right. So let you know what we have. All right. Let's do this. All right. So the first part of our salsa, we're going to just add everything to our bowl here. We're going to cut up some things too. All right, so we got some black beans here. So I use canned black beans. Mm, they are good. I use canned black beans. You can also use dry. Nothing wrong with dry. But in a pinch, you have easy access to it, and also they last. You keep a can in the pantry, and it can last for a while. All right. So next thing I want to add is peach. All right. So again, peach is a great summer food, stone fruit, and it's going to not only add fiber to this, but also going to add some sweetness to it. So usually, for sauces we add tomatoes, but for this we're going to add a little peach. All right. So I like a peach that's not super super ripe, but also not like super tough. So this is about medium firmness. I'm trying to get the pit out of here. All right, get that out of there. And this one has a little bit of a bruise. So I'm just going to kind of cut around that. All right, cut the not so funky parts out. All right, from there, just gonna chop this, and I leave the skin on because one, there's a lot of fiber in the skin, and two, I actually like the texture of the skin. But if you don't like the texture of the skin, you can peel the peaches. All right, but again, I'm keeping them on, and it's gonna cut them up into really small pieces. So okay, might be able to get away with one whole peach. Let's see. So I'm gonna cut across that way, and I'm gonna cut across this way, smaller pieces. Maybe get a little harder to cut. Remember, where you're cutting, also exercise knife safety. So kind of keep that bear claw. I don't want to go to the ER today. It's money I don't want to spend. So we're just gonna cut down here. And it doesn't have to be perfect, all right? Because it's all going being mixed together. But I do like to kind of cut up into smaller pieces. And that's good enough. Good enough to get the job done. Let's add these here. All right. And then, I like to do a little quality control. Make sure it's good. And yes, it is. I can confirm that the peaches are good. All right. So I add this half peach to bowl my black beans. So you can probably get away with just doing one peach. So let's just do that. If you want like really nice, get that last piece, nice cubes, you can also kind of cut it down this way. All right, so cut them in a small piece like this. Then cut this into a small piece like this. Cut across this way. Slipping a little bit, but that's okay. I want to be safe as possible. So I'm just gonna move that over there and cut there. And then we're gonna turn it another angle, cut this way. So that way we have smaller pieces. So whenever you're cutting, you never want to cut on an uneven surface. You never want to cut on a round. You also make sure you have a flat surface you cut on, so that way nothing slips. And you don't want to miss out on the summer and miss a finger. So we want to leave the summer all of our fingers intact. All right. we want to leave life with all our fingers intact as much as possible. All right. So all right, let's add this to it. And I may go wash my hands because the fingers are a little sticky from the peaches, but that's okay. All right, let me just wipe this off real quick. All right. All right. Next thing we have is a pepper. All right. So, uh, integral part of a salsa, bell pepper. All right. So I'm just gonna cut it real quick, and I'll show you all how I like to cut my peppers, so I don't have to get any of the ribs on there. So I'm gonna cut that little piece off first, and then I'm using really sharp chef's knife, so I'm just being really careful. Then I'm gonna cut around. All right. So kind of like rolling it. Those obviously cut pieces, and I can still get some off here. All right. Go from there, and just unrolling it. All right. A little bit more. And so that's the what we got left. So you can pick off the rest of this, but what I like about cutting it that way is that you have all this here. And so what I can do now is just cut there, there, and I'm gonna just probably do one of these. Okay, small pieces. And all these things we're adding, again, it's a lot of high fiber foods. All these foods have their own profile, nutritional profile. So again, our black beans are going to be a great source of protein. Our peaches, all right, going to be a good source of vitamin C, and also our peppers, good source of vitamin C. So everything we have is adding a bunch of nutrients to this, right? But most importantly, it all tastes good, all right? We like food that tastes good. I like food that tastes good. I'm sure you all do too. Okay, there we go. Just cut up our pepper. And then I'm going to cut this little guy too, because then no food waste. Just a little awkwardly shaped, but that's okay. All right, so we cut those pieces. And again, this doesn't have to be perfect, all right? If you're, learning knife skills or you're not as confident in knife skills, things like this, give you reps to kind of practice those knife skills. And so this is good because, again, it's all going together, being mixed up. You don't want them big chunks. So a great time to practice some knife skills. So I'm gonna add my peppers directly to there. And also a bell pepper. And also I have a jalapeno pepper, all right? We got to add some heat. All right. I like my things a little spicy. So needless to say, I'm gonna add a little heat to this. And so with jalapeno, other spicy peppers, the heat is in the seeds. All right. So when you're cutting it, you want to be careful when you are handling these things. I'm just gonna cut the seeds right out. And I should probably be more safe with this knife. So I'm not even gonna use a knife anymore. I'm gonna use this spoon to get the rib out. All right. So we're handling the seeds. You want to get those ribs out. All right. And
Dante, I have a quick question for you while you are chopping
yes.
the jalapeno. If somebody's allergic to peaches, what would be a substitute that they could use? I mean, obviously they can just do regular tomato salsa, but is there
Mhm.
a sweet substitute that would work in this?
That was a wonderful question, Michelle, whoever asked it. So with this, I like mangoes a lot. Like I said, I grew up with a mango tree, so you can use mangoes. All right. You're not allergic to those. You can also use pineapple. All right.
Mhm.
Something you could also use plums. All right.
Okay.
Um, yeah. So there's a lot of different substitutes we can do.
Okay. And is there a variety of peach that is better for this salsa? Like the question was between white flesh or yellow fresh, but even just any type of peaches.
Yeah, you know, honestly, it's whatever you have. That's my answer. I don't think the one is
Okay.
better than the other. Um, they both have the levels of sweetness to it. Like I said, you don't want to go with one for that's like super, super ripe where it's like breaking down. You
Hmm.
want to have it have some sort of firmness to it. So whether it's a white flesh, yellow flesh. Also, I have some donut peaches. I subscribed
Yeah.
to a CSA and got some of those last week. So you can also use those. Those are a little flatter. Um, They have a slightly different taste. They kind of have a nectarine-like taste, like
Mhm.
nectarine or an apple, but you can use those as well. So play around, and again, whatever you have on hand, it's got to be good.
Okay. Including
So I
nectarines
wouldn't say one is better than the other. Hmm?
and including nectarines if you don't have access to peaches, but you do
Yeah, but I imagine if someone has a peach allergy, they may also be allergic to nectarines, so they're very very
right,
similar.
right,
So
right. So this would be for people who do not have a peach allergy, but they're just
yeah,
looking for something.
yeah.
Yes.
Another thing here, right now I'm doing, I'm just chopping up an onion because we got to have onions in our salsa. All right, so chopping it really really finely.
Looks
Gonna
great.
add that to our bowl as well. And I know we got a few more minutes to go, so let me just break with this. The beautiful part about this is once it's in, you let it sit for a while, it's good. All right. And then the last thing we're gonna add, well, last full food, we're gonna add some cilantro. So got some fresh cilantro leaves here. I know some people don't like cilantro. Some people have that gene where it tastes makes it taste really soapy. All right, so that's you. Well, you're not here, so you can't taste it, but you don't have to use cilantro. All right, you can omit it. You can use any other herb that you want, but I think that for salsa, typically we go with cilantro because that's kind of what's been traditionally used in a salsa. Right? Christina, can you recommend some CSAs in North Carolina? I live in the Triangle, and I subscribe to one called Tallgrass Food Box, so it's one to check out. But there are plenty of CSAs. I don't know where in North Carolina you live, but I would just, kind of go on the internet and just like type in CSAs near me, and a lot of, fresh local farms have their CSAs. So check it out. And I'm not going to put myself on camera because I am actually crying because I just cut an onion. I forgot about that. So I'm not crying because this salsa tastes so good, but I'm crying because it's chopped up an onion. All right, so got that cilantro. Whew. All right. So next, we have our main ingredients. It's going to come together really, really quickly. Okay. So we add our jalapeno. We're going to add the rest of our lime juice to this. Actually, we're just going to mix that together real quick. So look at those different colors. That's also like about salsa like this, right? There's a variety of colors here we got going on. We got our orange from our peppers and our peaches. If you had red peppers, it'd be red. You got our kind of our clear, our purple colors from our red onion. You got our black and brown from our black beans. So we're gonna hit it with some lime juice, give it some acid. All right. So we want to give it a pop of flavor there. Gonna add some more here. Okay. I'll say about 2 limes worth of lime juice would be enough. So I'm gonna cut this other lime, and you can season. You can season it to whatever flavors you like. All right, but I think this will be enough. I think this is fine. Cool. What else? We got two more things to add to it. Add a little bit of cumin powder. Right? Give that some earthy flavors. See a lot of that in kind of Latin and in Middle Eastern cuisine. And then lastly, some salt. Right? All right. So I mentioned using acid to flavor, but also we can still use salt. I'm adding a whole lot of this little kosher salt here just to give some flavor. All right. So we're gonna enhance the flavor, everything else here. We're gonna give that a good stir. And I would let this sit for a little bit. So anywhere from, 15, 30 minutes, just for those flavors to meld and those peaches and those peppers and those things just to kind of give them some time to get to know each other. All right. You stick them in a room, they haven't been around each other. So they gotta get friendly. So we're just gonna let that sit. But once that sits, we have a beautiful, delicious peach and black bean salsa. All right. Here we go. Yeah, and if you don't want to use a hot pepper, you don't have to. Again, I like heat in my thing, so if you don't want to use the hot pepper, you don't have to. But I like my stuff with heat. Some people like even more heat, use like a habanero, but I think a jalapeno is enough. So let me just, it's a good try. So, mm, excellent. I'm getting sweet. I'm getting heat. and the earthiness from the cumin and the beans. Mm. So I got dinner and lunch for tomorrow, y'all. Thank you. All right. So the last thing we're gonna do, so we made a beverage, we made a side that we can have with, again, chips, have with our proteins, have as a snack. Now I want to do a main dish, all right? Something we can have during the evenings. Um, and the first thing is we didn't even need to use heat or anything. So this next thing we're gonna actually use heat for. So let me go ahead and wipe this off real quick. So what we're gonna do a stir fry with some summer vegetables. All right. Again, I mentioned summertime. We talked a lot about fruit, but a lot of vegetables show up during the summer. All right. So we're going to do a quick and easy stir fry. Let me just move this out the way. All right. Let's put this here. Okay, so let's talk about what we have here. All right, so the star of this is going to be our zucchini. For those that eat things during the summer, these are very, very. They show up a lot across the summer. They're just like, to get to a point where like I don't know what else to do with my zucchini. Well, you could put them in a stir fry. All right, so let me go ahead and put my pan on. Okay. Okay. So with these zucchinis, they're very, very full of water, full of fiber, and what we'll do, we'll just kind of cut this here. And with this, you can cut them into small pieces, large pieces. I like to cut it down the middle, so I'm gonna cut the edges off. Okay, we'll cut down the middle. So we're gonna saute some veggies, and then we're gonna add some rice or other grain to it, just to kind of make it like a stir fry, right? And quick and easy. It's not gonna be like a real sauce. We gotta add some soy sauce, or some tamari if you have it, and then some other flavorings. And so what I like to do, actually, I'm just gonna cut this down a little bit more. I like to do little half moon shapes. But if you're just sauteing zucchini, what I like to do is also cut it at an angle. All right. So if it looks and makes it look more fancy, like it is in a restaurant. But for this, I'm gonna cut them into small pieces here. Okay. Let me just chop here. Okay. Again, doesn't have to be exactly perfect, but we want to make sure that they're roughly the same size. Okay. So in my pan, I'm gonna add some olive oil. Okay. What's this? Okay. All right. I'm just gonna drop one in to make sure it's hot. Yep. So we'll add the rest of our zucchini in there. Let that cook. Also, we can add another pepper to it. And we have another pepper nearby. I'm not adding a habanero pepper. Don't worry. Don't worry. Don't worry. But I am going to add, I got a poblano pepper here. All right. So it's got some heat, not a whole lot. All right. So just like the other one, we want to kind of cut the seeds out. You can see here, lots of seeds. I'm going to go ahead and also kind of stir this around. It comes together really quickly. So chop this pepper up quick. I think it's been about 5 minute prep time, 10 minute cook time. So we're going to grease this really, really quickly. All right, so got a pepper. We'll add it to there with our zucchini. All right. And if you are compost, you can save these and just save the scraps, but I don't have a compost pile on me, so they may go in the refuse, or you can save everything for stock. All right, next we're gonna add some corn. All right. So corn is another summer vegetable. You see a lot of right now. You can use fresh corn if you have it, but there's nothing wrong with using canned corn or frozen corn. You know, so for some of us, being able to buy everything fresh is a it's a privilege, right? So we may not have access to fresh vegetables and fruit all the time. So canned and frozen works just as well. All right. So for those who are getting things from food pantries, maybe, canned corn can work for this. So we're going to add that to there also. Okay. And you can see you got some little bit of char on that, starting to brown on the zucchini, which is good. So turn my heat up just a little bit. All right. Also add some garlic. I like my garlic. All right, I don't think I need this anymore, so I can move this out of the way. All right. Let's get this right in the center. All right. We gotta add some flavor to this. I didn't even I like to have a little kick to my food, so I'm gonna add some red pepper, give it a little bit of heat. Red pepper flakes. Not a whole lot. Throw some onion powder in there. I could use fresh onion if I wanted to, but sometimes in a pinch, I like to use onion powder. Nothing wrong with that. Onion powder, garlic powder. Also, if you have the minced garlic, if you need to use that in a pinch, you certainly can. All right, 'cause we want to get our food on our plate as soon as possible. All right, some of us have, families, we got to feed a bunch of people. We may not have a lot of time to cook, so whatever we can do to kind of speed that up, I'm all for it. So, add some salt to this as well, just a little bit, because we're gonna add something else later. And then add some chickpeas or garbanzo beans. All right, again, this is gonna add some more protein. So we've got a lot of fiber going on here. Our chickpeas are gonna add some protein as well, plant-based protein. All right. And again, we got different colors going on here. We got our greens, we got our yellows, our browns here. All right, almost done here. Oops, lost the zucchini. Rip. All right. And then next I'm gonna add some rice. So I got this is a blend of rice and quinoa, brown rice and quinoa. So I'm gonna add that to our plate as well. All right. You can use any other grains you want. I just use whole grains because again, we talk about the higher fiber content. One a meal is going to help us feel full longer. So mix this in here, and it's a little bit more veggie things than rice. That's okay. All right. I like to do like kind of flip stir fry because some stir fries you just have mostly rice or noodles and very little veggies. This is kind of the opposite of that. We're focusing on the veggies and a little less grain. Turn it down. And I'm gonna add just a little bit of soy sauce to this. All right, again, adding some more umami flavor. I got a low sodium soy sauce. All right, so that could be enough there. And since I got it, squeeze a little bit of lime on it for why not? Yeah, I like those kind of flavors. Okay, so this is actually pretty much good to go. Just let it. Our vegetables have already sautéed. Our sauce is together. Soy sauce is in all the way. Okay, go ahead and turn this off and get this bad boy into a bowl. This is a bowl here. Okay.
This looks so
And
good, Adante. I am definitely getting hungry over here.
it smells really good too. I wish I could send you some, Michelle, and you too, Amy, and everybody
Yes,
else here.
that's
Um,
the downside of technology, right? We can't smell what's happening, but we can
yeah,
certainly imagine
yeah.
the smell.
So we got everything together here. Let me see if I can bring it up a little closer. So we got our veggie stir fry here. All right. So I'm gonna give it a quick little taste. Mm, mm, really good. Really good.
Fabulous. It looks
All
delicious.
right.
And on that note, we're going to go ahead and share the recipes right now. That way, if anybody needs to go, you can go ahead and grab your handout. So make sure that you go in and download them right now. You can just click on handouts and click on download.
All right, and then one last thing I want to show everyone the chia drink we made. So remember at the top of this, we did our chia sorrel
Mm,
and shook it up. So it's had some time for the chia to distribute. So what I'm gonna do, we can get it open, like they want to come out the jar. All right, there's a lot of red, so gonna pour this in here. And sometimes those seeds may settle. It's okay. You can just shake it up a little more.
mhm.
And then we want to just top it one of these, and there we
That's so
go.
pretty.
So I'm gonna give it a little sip. It's really good. So that's
Love
sort of going to give it a little bit of a tart taste to it, kind of like cranberry juice. Mm, nice and sweet. So that is everything. I think there was like maybe one slide left.
Yeah,
Um,
I'm pulling that up for you. And again, go ahead and click on handouts so you can download your handout. Only about half of you have done that so far. And I want to make sure that you do get your recipes because these look absolutely delightful.
yeah.
I do have a couple questions left.
Mm.
Could you serve the stir fry cold?
You most certainly can. I mean, there's no um, nothing here that can't be eaten cold. So you can make this hot and then serve it cold. You put in your lunch, right? Keep it over ice. Like it's perfectly fine to eat cold. I like some foods warmer, but I know it's the summertime. We like to have cooler
Mhm.
things. So you can certainly make this. You still saute your vegetables, but when it's cool, then you can eat it cold too. Mhm.
Excellent. And what's a healthy chip?
A healthy chip.
Yes.
So you can do. I mean, you can do tortilla chips. You can make. Somebody said they make their own tortilla chips, so you can certainly do your own. You can even use vegetables. So you could use a piece of zucchini and slice it kind of more on a diagonal, so it kind of holds more salsa. You do the same with a carrot, right? You can also use some whole wheat pita, right? And just cut up a small piece and maybe put it in the toaster, put it in the oven so it can crisp up a little bit. So you could certainly do that. In terms of other brands, there's a lot out there. You can kind of look at the label and see, but I like to keep it simple.
Mhm.
Tortilla chips or just like slices of vegetables works just as well. Hmm.
Excellent, thank you.
Hmm.
And then I know you have one of the questions answered in your future slides, so I'll let you keep going with those.
All right. So this is what we're making. I had a slide. I thought I had a slide, but I forgot to show it, but it's okay. Um, So last things I want to leave you with, again, we talked about summer produce. So we want to eat seasonally and locally for various reasons. We want to eat those foods that are going to have more nutrients, right? It's going to have a smaller carbon footprint. It's also going to be cheaper to eat seasonally, all right? And we eat locally, we're supporting our local farmers, our local growers, all right? Supporting our local food economies, which is really important in this day and age. Also, to somebody's point, they asked about this last dish. Not everything needs heat. You don't have to cook everything with heat. All right. So we made our salsa. All right. That didn't require any heat. We just chopped up a few things. We made our chia sorrel. That didn't require any type of heat at all. So if you don't want to turn the stove or the oven on because it's too hot, you don't have to. There's lots of fiber-rich foods you can enjoy and prepare that doesn't require use of any heat at all. And then lastly, we can eat our water. All right. So we're focusing on these watery fruits and vegetables. Again, we have our peaches, our zucchini, maybe like watermelon, whatever those things are. You can eat your water, and also you can drink it too with something like a chia water or chia sorrel. So there are lots of things we can do. We don't have to sacrifice flavor. We don't have to sacrifice some of our favorite foods just to kind of adhere to our 75-25 fiber we do in full plate. So there's a lot of things that we can enjoy. So hopefully that you all got something of value that you can try at home. I would love to see you all make these things. And if you can, my information is here. Tag me on Instagram, tag Full Plate Living, and let us know what you're making. All right. So hopefully some of this resonated with you, and that you all try some of these things and enjoy the remainder of your summer. It's been a pleasure. Thank you again to Ardmore and Full Plate and Michelle and Amy for having me here this afternoon. It's been an absolute pleasure, and I hope everyone has a great rest of this summer.
Yeah, thank you so much, Adante. If you'd like to drop Adante a note in the chat about what you enjoyed about the workshop. I know a lot of you are saying this is a great demonstration and you can't wait to try the recipes, but you can drop any other lines that you'd like. Thank you for being with us here. Remember to check your Full Plate Living membership to log in the library and look under workshops for a recording of this workshop. And you will also receive a recording as soon as the workshop is over. I hope that you all have a wonderful rest of your week and a great summer. Thank you, Adante.
Thanks, Michelle. Bye, everybody.
Bye.